Go.
Education is the closest thing to magic we have in our culture. Education can transform a single life and all the generations to come thereafter. Over the next few weeks, we'll focus on the challenges in our classrooms and the reasons to remain hopeful. So, to begin, as we embark on a new school year, it's the perfect time to reflect on the teachers who touched our lives. And two teachers come to mind for me, just as I'm sure there are teachers for whom you are grateful. In our house, summer came to an end at 4:30 a.m. last Monday morning. That's when my wife's alarm clock went off. And thank goodness my hearing has gotten so bad, probably because of that alarm clock, that I didn't hear it. But she did. 4:30 a.m., up, dressed, and off to school like teachers all across the country. I always suspected being a teacher was a difficult job, but living with a teacher has confirmed it. My wife Terry is a first grade school teacher, so for many of those children, it's the first time they've been away from home for extended parts of the day. And you teach children and you console them because they miss their parents, you keep them entertained, you help them go to the bathroom, and you listen with joy and patience as they tell you the same story for the 24th time. And then she comes home and looks over their paperwork and tries to write something positive on their paper and puts these little stickers at the top of the page with smiley faces and all these other forms of encouragement. Most of her salary, I think, goes for stickers or toys for these children. And sometimes I'll walk by and glance at the papers where the little children are trying to write their names, and honestly, it looks more like a seismograph reading from an earthquake or an EKG. And then I look at the math papers and she's grading them, and I wonder how anyone could possibly think 2 plus 2 could equal 7. I'm open to new ideas and all of that, but 2 plus 2 does not equal 7, and it's not ever going to equal 7. I don't have the patience to teach children, but I'm thankful she does, and so many others do too. A teacher's day starts early and it ends late, and we ask teachers to be educators and counselors, to socialize children, to discipline them, but not too much, all the while adapting to these ever-changing rules put in place by people who probably haven't ever been inside a classroom. Can you imagine teaching in the world of COVID? And then the weekends aren't much better, grading papers and doing lesson plans, and then some of these children play sports or have other activities on the weekend, and they want their teachers to come and watch them. I mean, it's one thing to watch your own children play 90 minutes of soccer to a scoreless tie on a Saturday afternoon, but my wife and teachers all across this country go watch their students, because being a teacher does not end at 3 o'clock on Friday afternoon. And I won't even discuss the money. You don't go into education for the money. I get that. But it would be nice if you could support your family, or maybe even send your own children to college on a teacher's salary. Compare what this country pays people who entertain us with what we pay people who teach us. As the school year begins, it's the ideal time to reflect on those teachers who changed our lives. If you are like me, you are thinking of one right now. Iris Ezel was one of those teachers for me. I had a lot of great teachers, but she stands out. She was my third grade teacher. Her classroom was a portable classroom on the backside of Jesse Boyd Elementary School in Spartanburg, South Carolina. I was not a great student, and sometimes I acted up in class, not in a terrible way, but I did like to talk to my friends. And sometimes the teacher was also talking, which created a conflict of sorts. So it really was no surprise when she asked me to stay after school one day. To me, it just meant I was in trouble again. She pulled 2 chairs face to face, and she cut my face in her hands. And she said, "I believe in you. You can do anything you put your mind to, but you have to try. You have to work hard. You have to listen. You have to believe in yourself, because I believe in you. And then I waited for the rest of it, like a man on death row enjoying his last meal. I knew something else was coming, some discipline, some punishment. She was going to call my parents, but nothing else came. That was it. She kept me after school for affirmation, for belief, for support, and most importantly, for love. It's been half a century, and I could still take you to the very spot where Iris Ezell talked to me after school. So, to all the young people who visited me when I was in political office and expressed their desire to run for office or enter politics or go to law school because they wanted to, quote, change the world, my response to each of you was always the same. If you want to change the world, you should teach. That's what I've told every one of these budding politicians and lawyers. If you want to change the world, teach. Iris Ezell is the reason I told you that. My wife Terry is the reason I told you that. Teachers offer a change that no campaign and no office and no title could ever equal. Teachers enable you to do something you could not previously do, and that is freedom. That is liberty. That is empowerment. Teachers care about other people's children. That is love. So if you like love and liberty, you should teach. If you want to change the world, you should teach. And all of us should celebrate those women and men who changed the world.